Hey guys, so it has definitely, my hair is going to do that the whole time, but it has definitely been a minute since I've sat down and made one of these videos. But I decided that I'm going to make one of these YouTube creator journey videos. And particularly today, I want to talk to my spiritual creators, people who are creating because they want to shift the world as it is, see a better world, and create to change the consciousness and hearts of others. So, with that being said, let me share with you guys a little bit about me and my creator journey. So, my name is Nicole Ballantyne, and I'm a wellness entrepreneur. I go by With Love Cole on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, all the platforms. And I'm a mom, a wellness entrepreneur. I own an apothecary. I also am a SAG actress. So I do a lot of different things. And it's really because I've been on this journey of self actualization and self development improvement from the beginning of time. And it's really led me to explore my passions. And with that, I've found that YouTube has been the perfect platform for me to share my passions to the largest audience and also be in community with people who are on the same fractal and who are like-minded. And from what I've noticed with YouTube in particular compared to other platforms, because I've been an Instagram creator since 2012, a TikTok creator since 2017, 2018, and my biggest thing with YouTube is community. I absolutely love the YouTube community. I feel like YouTube is filled with people who genuinely want to be teachers and who are teachers who are also learners. YouTube is a big learning community. And when I worked at YouTube, because I actually was a brand ambassador and did some work at YouTube Space, and was able to meet creators and connect with creators there. And one thing I've learned during that experience of being at YouTube Space was YouTube is a teaching platform and YouTube is a learning platform. I didn't realize until working that day that YouTube was really a tool of education. So with that, I think it's really important to use it wisely, but also education goes beyond just teaching people things that are logical and things that are in textbooks. Education is all about giving people an understanding of ethics and morality and spirituality, and we are learning this information to be better people and to change the world. So with all of that being said, you're probably watching this video because you want to do all those things. Or you do similar things to what I do, and you want to step further deep into your purpose. Well, at the time of making this video, I've recently hit my 500 subscriber mark, so I'm almost at 600 subscribers now, and I'm looking actually to be monetized very soon because I just have one more eligibility to hit. And that is really exciting because, again, I told you guys I've been on Instagram since 2012, and I have not been getting that same sense of fulfillment from creating on Instagram. My engagement has been pretty low. For years, it felt like my account was shadow banned, and a big part of that was because I worked with a lot of growth hacking companies. I worked specifically with Blavity Growth Hacking Fellow, and I learned how to use Instagress and apps like, well, Instagress really, but also basically third-party apps to hack the algorithm. And it's a very beneficial tool, but with that, especially at the time that I was doing it, I didn't really have a direction with my content. I just wanted to grow my following because I knew the importance of it. I did have a travel blog at the time, but at the same time, it wasn't giving what it needed to give in terms of the purpose part of it. I think I was still coming into my purpose and I loved that journey, but I knew that it wasn't sustainable for me to be a travel blogger because I was already investing so much money to do it. And then when I moved to California, I was like trying to stay stable and do it. So with all that being said, YouTube has really given me the fulfillment of having value. I mean, well, not having value, but being able to have my value seen by the right audience, be able to give them value because I know that there's tons of information that I have and I just wanted the right place to share it, and also people who are interested, as well as receive value, because being able to be on this content creator journey came from being able to see a lot of other people do it and do the same things that I wanted to do. And if I didn't see it, I don't know if I would have been able to do it, because I didn't grow up with a lot of that encouragement of like, be your most creative, magnetic self. And it isn't no fault of anyone's. I had to learn to kind of move past that. It's just more now, how do I help others do that, as well as how do I continue to do that? Part of it, it does help when you have mentors, basically having people that you can say, oh wow, like this person could do it, I could do it. And then another part of it is being able to take the daily action to do it. So what I'm about to get into today with you guys is how to create consistent and mindful content. And these are just some smart creator tips that I've written down in my phone that I want to share with you guys, because these tips have really helped me. And you'll notice that I do listen to creators. So some of the tips you may already have heard from like big creators like Think Media, etc. But I am kind of giving a spiritual twist on these things because, again, mindfulness is so important. And I actually do really love the content of a lot of these big tech companies like Think Media, because they're very purpose driven, and it's actually the spiritual purpose behind the individual creator that you're seeing through the work that they give for their brand. So know that when you see a lot of these really, really big platforms that are doing well, it's because they have a lot of purpose and there's a lot of spirit within the brand. There's a lot of spirit, whether it's the lives of the people who are employed by that big creator or the creator themselves, who they're doing it for, their personal mission and passion. So again, with all that being said, let's jump into the tips. So the first thing is knowing the information, knowing the stats about each social media platform. YouTube is the second largest search engine. YouTube is also owned by Google. So if you are someone looking to reach the widest audience possible, YouTube is going to be one of the places to do that, if not the place. Instagram, your content often may not reach the audience, or you have to do a lot of work for it to reach the specific audience you want. And with any social media platform, that really falls back down to being consistent. So if you're gonna watch this video and put these tips into practice, the main thing is to be consistent with just showing up online. As you show up online consistently, some of the programs, beliefs, or wounds that we have that can actually keep us in a lower frequency, sometimes it dissipates just through the feedback we get from our audience. They help change and transform us, which is why you'll see so many creators talk about how YouTube has been a spiritual journey for them. So yeah, with YouTube being the second largest search engine in the world, and I think that was said by Goldman Sachs, it creates predictable growth you can create predictable growth by answering the right questions. And that is from Think Media, Sean Cannell, and he is absolutely right. Since YouTube is a search engine, answering the questions that people are asking is really going to be the way that you will reach your targeted audience. For me in particular, I'll give you an example. I am a human design self-projector. So as someone who loves sharing human design, I'm a human design projector aura type. Why not ask or give information about human design self-projectors? Because there are going to be other self-projectors. There's about 2.6% of us in the world. There's going to be others of us. And because I have this large net I can cast with YouTube, I can find that even 1% audience and hone in on them, because I know that we're on the same fractal, we're literally the same energy type, and they're probably going to be looking for information on self-projectors because there's not much of it, right? So being able to answer questions and thinking of how to questions can really help you brainstorm your thumbnails and just your information in general. And I say thumbnails in particular because a lot of creators, including myself, sometimes working on the thumbnail gives me motivation to edit the video. And I'm actually going to use that tip because I have tons of videos myself that I still have to edit, more vlog type things. And I know that if I make my thumbnail, I tend to make the video. So sometimes work backwards, make the thumbnail, then make the video. And then sometimes make the video and work off that inspiration. If you have inspiration in the moment to make something, create in the moment. Once you create it, you're more likely to post it. If you don't even create it and it's sitting in like the drafts, you're probably not going to create it. So get into the habit of having and doing divine activity. So that is another spiritual tip. Focus on divine activity, activity that brings you closer to your goals, closer to the future of what you want. If you know you want 10,000 subscribers, you need to have a divine activity, which is making videos, editing, writing scripts, even just brainstorming. Those activities will bring you closer to making the video. So that is my tip number 2. Let's see what else. Found out my wings ain't coming. Darn. Okay, so let's hop back to my notes. So now, research before you create. So between YouTube Studio as well as I think now TikTok has a creator analytics where you can actually see what people are looking for and searching before you even create. I also got a tip from another creator, and I also call him kind of like my YouTube guru, my old neighbor Kyle. He was really, really good at just teaching me that you can actually look at Google Trends, because if it's trending on Google, there's probably people looking for YouTube videos about it. And if you have something that isn't necessarily niche, but is popular conversation, like right now, if you're talking about Beyonce, 16 Carriages, country music album, any of that, Renaissance, and you're relating it to something you have going on, whether it's human design or, you know, your personal journey, you might be from the South, so it might be your connection to the music. Like, it's probably going to trend well because Beyonce trends well. But I also want to say, keep in mind that as a spiritual creator, we don't want to create clickbait content. We want to create content that's relevant and also mindful and solution oriented. So it's not so much about creating content that gets you views, but we want to create content that brings it back to our hearts, our consciousness, but does relate to topics that people are thinking about and can talk about. So specifically, like if I was making a video and I wanted to talk about Beyonce and 16 Carriages, or Beyonce and, you know, music, and I'd probably make a video talking about like Beyonce and Jolene and the lyrics of the song and how this can relate to patriarchy and, you know, how we need to learn to heal the divine masculine and feminine. So you see how like we're taking information that's already out there and media that's already out there, but then you're adding your own opinion, belief, spin, as well as just like level of awareness to it. And that it doesn't always have to just stay at the awareness it is. You can make something positive, or it's a song about a man cheating on his girl, and like she's basically telling the woman to like be with her. Not be with him and leave him alone so he can be with her. And that type of music, like, I don't want to say it's negative because it's an expression of consciousness, but I do feel like we can talk about, well, how do we actually move away from, you know, these type of lyrics? Like, and even Beyonce, like, I think she corrects the lyric at some point. She changed it from begging to like leave him alone. I'm not begging you to leave him alone, I'm telling you. So I even think that is a spin on the song in a positive way. So enough about that, but I just wanted to give you guys an idea of like how you can have a conversation and it actually be just opens up discussion and creates more heartwarming conversation. It's not necessarily like, you know, adding to the noise that we already are experiencing in content. All right, so next, make concise videos answering specific questions. So this video, I naturally am a chatty person, so I do believe that being concise and being impeccable with your word, as impeccability is a city frequency, it's important, right? It's important, but also I do feel like there is much value in fully expressing yourself. I have my South Node in Gate 62 Human Design, which is the gate of details and preponderance on details. And at times I could be an overthinker, but also I know one of my gifts and my genius is being able to be very detailed when I explain things, because I know that those details matter, and that the details that people have given me, or even the slight changes of the wording that they use, is what helps me, sometimes encourages me or motivates me, as opposed to hearing the same kind of slogan or simplistic expression that might not necessarily move my spirit. So as a spiritual creator, create content that moves the spirit and not just and it's not just like words, but also keep it concise. People don't have the greatest attention spans, including myself, or we do have good attention spans, but we kind of want to zone in on like get the information we need and keep it pushing. So with that, it's important to have a level of, simplicity. And that goes on to my next point. KISS, do what helps you keep you consistent and not aesthetics. So KISS, keep it simple, stupid. A lot of people use that term. Sean Cannell actually brought it up when he was talking about his tips. But the reason why I'm bringing up specifically for spiritual creators is part of creating to impact consciousness and to impact people's hearts is to be a presence. And in order to be a presence, you have to show up consistently. And the only way you can show up consistently is you create a system for yourself that makes it easy to. So my foot is going numb, y'all. I'm gonna just move it real quick. But I'll give you guys an example. I have right now the simplest setup. It's my camera, a tripod, stand, like that's holding my phone, and a ring light. And I also had the TikTok ring light, the shop one, the one that sits on your camera. That one is really great too. Easy, simple systems. All I have to do is put the stick down and stretch it out, put the camera in there, and then set the ring light up. When I wanted to create like this perfect, beautiful content, I couldn't show up consistently because it felt like it was an overwhelm just to get the content from point A to point B. And a lot of times it stayed in editing mode, which is why I still have so many unedited videos. And that is why I'm encouraging you guys, especially as spiritual creators, take the time, one, to put out things you create. If you created it, it's because you want to put it out. So, or you want it to be created. So whether you keep it for yourself or not, give it some sort of presence, whether it's your time of looking back on it or putting it out into the collective. But also, you want to make sure that you are, this foot is really numb, y'all. So it's like, I can't think as my foot is like trying to get its senses back. All right, I'm gonna stop for a second and take a tea break. So when we focus on keeping consistent, we actually will sometimes have to let go of some of the aesthetics. In order for me to catch up on my videos, right now I'm sitting on the floor. I didn't worry about making everything perfect. I know I love plants, so I'm literally next to my plant. But I also had to let go of, again, needing everything perfect. I started going live so I can connect with my audience easier and also more efficiently because I don't have to worry about the whole editing process. So, although sometimes that comes with its own journey because you're learning how to stream now, you're also dealing with different quality because it is going to impact your video quality. But sometimes that doesn't matter when you are needing to prioritize consistency. I would say prioritize consistency first, then video quality. No, well, consistency, then video quality, yes. And then like some sort of plan of like the type of like pillars you want to have. I don't think pillars are very, very necessary at the beginning. You do want to know what you're going to talk about, but for me, I really kind of started this. My first YouTube video was me realizing I was probably suffering from disordered eating and just making a very heartfelt video about it because it was just on my heart. There was no plan, no nothing. It was just straight passion. And also, I knew that I was wanting to content create. And well, I've always been a content creator, but I wanted to create for YouTube, and I wanted to make more videos and long form videos, but I just didn't really have like a set plan. Sometimes that's good because that kind of is how you throw things against the wall and know that this is a spiritual journey, as I've mentioned. So you're not supposed to know everything. You're supposed to just get in the habit of showing up for yourself and doing the things that you love. Over time, you can be one of two things, or there's also many options, but let's talk about two. You can be the creator that creates for yourself and you just happen to know what your audience needs, which I feel like I'm that creator because I put so much value into what I create. So I really create for myself. I create the things that I feel like the audience should see because as a projector, I am a seer. So we guide energy. I'm like, I would love people to have a more foundational understanding of human design. Let me create that. I would love moms who are first time moms to have a real understanding of what it is to give birth and go through the postpartum experience. Let me create that. For you, it might be something else. It might be I want people to have the ability to get dog products for inexpensive because it can be really expensive taking care of an animal, or you can be on a tight budget and you want to make sure you give your pet the best, and that could be your audience. Like, but you wouldn't know that if you didn't try to do things and find out what's fun for you first. And that's why I think like knowing that by creating it'll come, that can happen. The second way you can reach or find out what your pillars are is your audience could tell you, because now that you're in this flow of creating regularly, they're like, I want more of this, or you'll see what videos get comments or what videos are tracking on the algorithm and doing well. And by that, your analytics is already telling you what people want and need to see. All right, so next is work at the intersection of your passions. So when you work at the intersection of your passions, which I feel like I definitely do on my video, and my YouTube channel, I bring in so many different things that it already creates my pillars: motherhood, human design, spirituality, or motherhood, human design, and wellness. Because I feel like the human design kind of includes esoterics and spirituality, the way I express it. So with that, I naturally created my content pillars by doing the things I love, but I also make tons of little beauty shorts because I enjoy beauty and I worked in product development. I worked at Sephora when I was in my 20s. I have a lot of beauty education, understanding, and background. So with that, I naturally still love giving beauty reviews and doing unboxings of products. I have a video where I did a LV breast pump unboxing because I'm a mom, but I also know that I'm a mom who's breastfeeding later than most moms. So I'm like, maybe moms want to see what it looks like to be pumping with a child that's older, you know? So yeah, when you get into the specificity of your life, it becomes really, really easy to build out a content strategy and a plan, because I went back to my ikigai, and this is why the tip is work at the intersection of your passions. When you're working at the intersection of your passions, it's really, really easy to um, one, do something that you find joy in, but that you're also really good at, right? So I literally have tried to get a corporate job multiple times, and I've worked in corporate and I've had horrible experiences. I dealt with racism in corporate America, which was very traumatizing for me because I was such a people pleaser, and I literally would give my heart to my jobs. And I didn't realize that they weren't really seeing the value in it. Like, these very patriarchal, logical structures were not seeing the value in my spirituality and divine feminine way and wanting to uplift consciousness. They were like, "What? We need you to file these POs." So with that, I really had no choice. As a Black woman in America, I had no choice but to try to work at the intersection of my passions, because that was the only way I was going to survive with a semblance of my sanity, for real. And I feel like I'm speaking to spiritual creators who are going through the same thing, because a lot of times the spiritual path happens because you're pushed out of everywhere else and nothing else is working. So now you're like, I am just so frustrated, but I am also so aware of what the world needs. And then you come to this like threshold and now want to create the things that you want to see. All right, so let me see. Okay, I'm gonna answer a quick message, y'all. Okay, great. Okay, next point. And get 1% better with every upload. So I will say this is a think media tip, but I really want to say it's important to get better, but it's really important to stay in the doing, because getting better looks like editing better or having better sound or adding more elements into your video. But if you find that those things are now keeping you from being consistent, or it's now causing kind of like it's why can I, like, sometimes words just be leaving me, um but it's just adding stuff into your workflow, unnecessary things into your workflow. It's probably better to just not do that and just show up. It will get better over time. And especially once you reach the point of monetization, I do feel like there will be a release of energy, like, all right, I know that I've built this community. I know that I've added lots of value because it's now showing, in terms of on the physical realm. So now I can go back to the drawing board and say, what do I want to elevate? Do I want to get a new camera? Do I want to add a mic? Like, I'm probably going to move into the Rode mic, StreamYard kind of energy here. For my audience, because I know that it requires that. So it's just really important to know what your audience needs, what you need, but know that a lot of the videos I watch on YouTube, especially spiritual videos, I promise you guys, I still love creators that just turn on their iPhone, post it up, might not even have the best light, and is just really good at reading. Because people are there for your soul. They're there for, ooh, that sounds like your soul. But people are there for your energy and your vibe. They're there to get to know you, and they're there to just be in community. So sometimes we can get so in our heads about how perfect it needs to look, and we literally are losing the plot because now we haven't posted in a month. And it's like your one video in that month is cute, but you could have been in community 10 times that month and been way more fulfilled outside of that one video, because that one video might only give you a certain amount of views, or you might notice you've gained certain subscribers, but those 10 videos that were probably slightly lower quality, but you went on live, you didn't get to fully edit the video, but people really loved just kind of chit-chatting with you. I'm not editing this video because I want you to see that you don't have to edit a video. You don't even have to know how to edit. You literally could just turn the camera on if you interesting enough. Like, I'm not going to tell everyone to just turn the camera on. Some of us need more development before we turn the camera on. And a lot of times, like, again, it just means just have a basic idea of what you want to say. If I know that I want to do an oracle message, I'm going to know the decks that I want to pull. I'm going to even sometimes already pull the cards if don't want to necessarily take the time to be shuffling. So it's really easy, y'all. And I'm saying this because we need more people who I know actually deserve to be creators and deserve to be in the limelight and deserve to be seen because they have powerful voices and they want to do something positive in the world. And I know that it's really, really important for you to hear this encouragement and have it. So getting better with every upload sometimes can look like more engagement. Oh, I didn't necessarily edit the video, but I went on live and like people commented and I was able to respond back to them in real time. That to me is 1% better than putting out less videos, but you use a Shure mic. Like, that's cute, but you get the point. Next, as a spiritual creator, it's really, really important to work with the laws of the universe. How you gonna be a spiritual creator and you're not actually working with the energy, vibration, and frequency? So 369 method is a really great method because 369 is without saying too much, because I want you guys to like really look into 369 and the spiral. But understanding numerology and number patterns in the world can really help us actually tap into our divine feminine and spiritual selves and create things that only can come from a human and not AI. Because so much priority has been put on using AI to do things, but AI is not a soul. So I do want to see and want to keep an element of the human spirit online. And I think like using AI is very great. They're very good for coming up with content pillars or strategies if you need help with that. I'm a very right-brained person, so I kind of just don't need to do all that, but I understand that there's people who are really need like that logical structure, and in that their creativity can expand. So it might be really good for you to have Notion, which is a note-taking app. But again, the more complicated you make the system, the longer it might take. That lead time, and lead time is a production term that basically means the amount of time it takes to deliver or ship or produce the product. So your lead time is going to take longer if you have a lot of complicated structures as opposed to a simple format of creating and posting videos. So yes, look into 369 method, energy, frequency, vibration, and focus on that. When you make your videos, think about what is the energy I want to have in this video. Sometimes I prioritize not making videos when I'm not in a good mood, because that alone is going to set the frequency of the video. And if I'm not in a good mood and I'm making certain comments, I'm going to attract in the comment section people who want to respond to that. So knowing the energy you want to create is so important. And also doing the things you need to do, taking the self-care steps you need to take before coming on camera is really important. I know that for me, as I've been on YouTube, my physical journey has changed. Like, I went through, of course, Invisalign and birth. So some of it I had to show up regardless. But then I got to a point where I'm like, all right, I noticed that just showing up regardless is also now impacting my motivation because I don't love the way I'm looking on camera. So then I had to make some changes, get some new makeup, try different styles with my hair, also just be more appreciative of what it does when it does what it does. So learning a level of self-acceptance, all of these attributes come to play when we are talking about being spiritual creators and creating with integrity. Unfortunately, people judge a book by its cover. So, as a spiritual creator, you can be the most spiritual person in the world, but you may not get the views that or people to see your information that should, because your appearance and because human nature is drawn to beauty and appearances that are, aesthetically pleasing. This does affect the algorithm because the algorithm is going off of what humans are showing that they want to see more of. So keep all of that in mind as you're creating. Be yourself, be authentic, but do your best to look your best. And if you don't feel your best, that is more important to stay off camera. But if you feel good, but like you're not perfectly made up, it's okay. Like, trust that your soul and the message will come through. And also, you can use the necessary tools that are given to you, like mute, block, report, to help you, moderate your audience. All right, this video is getting long, but I'm trying to give all the tips. So I'm gonna end this video really quick with some points, and yes, I literally wrote them down, of why you should subscribe to my channel. And because I want to do this with integrity, I didn't have a whole plan of how to promote myself, because I probably should have did that earlier in the video. But quickly, if you're thinking about still why you should subscribe to my channel, even though I've given you so many lovely points, here are some reasons. As a spiritual creator, it's really good to follow the moon cycles and know what's happening in the sky as it relates to us, because we are very interconnected with nature. So with that, I do full moon and new moon reading videos that are timeless on my YouTube channel. So subscribing to my channel, you can connect to another person who's also giving spiritual information or advice, as well as being in community with others who might be going through similar experiences during the transits. Next is esoteric knowledge you can access at any time. I am going to be a reminder because, again, all of this information is already in the Akashic, it's already in our consciousness, but I want to be a reminder. So when you come to my videos, it's like, hey, oh yeah, I forgot about the 369 method. Oh yeah, I could cycle sync. Or, oh yeah, I do need to spend time grounding. I'm not here to be anything but a reminder for you guys. And if I can be more, that's amazing. I would love to be a guide, advisor, all of those things. But first and foremost, a reminder, because anything I'm telling you is already there. It's just sometimes we need to hear it again, or it come to our consciousness in the physical again. Next is grow and learn with me, because I am on this YouTube journey as well. I'm still a small creator growing, and I want community to learn and grow with. And we can learn and grow on our own, but I promise you that we learn and grow so much more together, and so much more quickly. It feels like time is speeding up, and it is, but also with that, we can speed up our self-development and our feedback literally by being able to be so vulnerable and open and just connecting through YouTube. Next is I share human design books, products, and services. So if you ever want a one-on-one human design reading, I give human design readings, and I give it from an esoteric and proverbial way. So that is a very unique offering, and I love to not only give readings, but I give so much information on my channel on it, because understanding the 64 human behaviors has been life-changing for me, and having a tool that synthesizes the left brain and the right brain has been so beneficial. So next is I connect other content so you can learn through synthesis. So I'm wrapping the video up. My baby's sleeping, so I'm going to be a little low in my speaking. Actually, I'll wait for her to go in the room. Y'all can wait. yes, as a creator, I think it's important to uplift other creators. And a big reason why I still enjoy YouTube, I mean, Instagram, but I don't use it the same way is because I felt like I was amplifying other creators constantly because I just really enjoyed sharing content. Like, I'm one of those people that just like repost, just sharing people's content. And then I'm like, I'm doing that, but none of my content's being seen, or none of my friends are uplifting my own content. And that's a hurtful feeling, right? It's like, you guys love my advice and wisdom in person, but then here I'm literally creating content like that now for you guys, and you're not even engaging with it. So, know that when you are following me or any of the spiritual creators, we tend to be really lovely at wanting to collaborate and uplift. And if we really like your content, we'll share it. I can't speak for everyone, but I can speak for myself. And I just want to be in community with more people who are like that. I don't expect everyone to vibe with me or get my content, but I do expect, if you're loving the things you're seeing, why are you not sharing it, amplifying it, and liking it? Isn't that the whole point of moving towards improvement in the world and like being here? Is to be vehicles and also help to connect people to more of what we want to see in the world. So I'm going to end the video here. It's 40 minutes long, but it's filled with tips and wisdom. And I really hope you guys watch through the end. And if you have, I hope you've subscribed by now, as well as checked out all the other offerings and things I have, and take some time for yourself. This is a lot of information, and I think that it's very often that I know I can like sometimes listen to multiple YouTube videos, just gathering information, resources during the day. And just like, I love to learn, right? But with that, we need time to kind of decompress from it all too. So I hope you have your tea as well. I'm drinking some ashwagandha tea with some canna oil, and it's really bomb. And I put some tincture drops in it of gotu kola, which is like a supplement for your skeletal muscular system. But yes, with all that being said, take some time, have some tea, and connect on your intentions. So I hope this video is a great guide, but also it kind of puts you in a space of contemplation on how you can create something that is so unique to you. Because again, if you are on a content creator journey and you want to grow, you can't grow copying or being like anybody else. And it's also not fulfilling. Like, you're here to live your life. You are designed perfectly as you are. So it's important to take that time to say, okay, now I have so much more information and like encouragement on becoming a YouTuber or becoming a creator and going on this journey. Now let me sit with myself and see how I can integrate this information into my passions. So study your ikigai, learn what you're passionate about, and if you already know what you're passionate about, just come with that information to YouTube and be willing to share it in a mindful way. Be open to criticism, be open to learning and to changing. And I love you guys. I'll see you in the next video.